Hi, this is Toni Navy, and welcome to the Small Business Leadership Edge Show. And you know me, folks. I'm always looking at being able to bring in big business solutions so that you can leverage them for your small business. And as a pandemic expert and being able to work with companies to help them hire, to interview, and to be able to lead high-performing virtual and on-site teams in the age of COVID, I'm always looking at hot topics, things that are going to be relevant for you taking your business to the next level, whether you're a leader within the organization. You know, typically we'll have director and above on this show, simply so that you get a chance to hear what are these big corporations doing, because now we can leverage some of those strategies, some of those tools and best practices in a business that's 250 employees or less, or even 500 and less. It is, how do we do things better? How do we make sure that we are staying up to speed with technology, with strategies, things that are simple and easy to implement in your business, and stay ahead of the game with what's going on with the trends to make sure that we are branding ourselves better, that we are being able to produce and deliver what we have to offer so we can continue to grow and build our businesses. So today we are going to talk about and have a fantastic panel. We're going to talk about how progressive companies are dealing with this, leading in the age of COVID, dealing with creating diversity and inclusive programs that actually work, those that get results, because you know how it goes. We talk about these things. You've been hearing about diversity over a period of time. But the truth of the matter is, we are now global, and we've been global for a time. We are dealing with workplace environments where things are more competitive. With all the recent events that have been going on and the challenges of the pandemic, racial equality, all these issues have now heightened the issue of diversity in the workplace. And for those that don't know, one of the things that I continue to hear is people just say diversity and inclusion and not really understand the impact and the difference between those two words. So before I even break in and introduce our guests today, let me just preface and give a little bit of foundation. Simply, diversity is about being able to bring aboard the diverse candidates, people of color, the gender differences, whether it's the LGBT community, women, people with disabilities in underrepresented categories. It is being able to have a more diverse work environment, which sparks the creativity and innovation because of all the different perspectives. So whether it's global, whether you're dealing with across borders, whether you're working or connecting with people from different countries, that gives us the diverse flavor of what the workforce looks like, right? But you can have a diverse workforce to an extent, and it's still not be inclusive. So when we talk about inclusivity or having an inclusive environment, it means that people of diverse backgrounds, of diverse perspective, of diverse countries that they're coming from, whatever their cultural historic backdrop is that they actually feel like they are welcome, that they're provided with an environment that says your ideas, your diversity of thought and perspective from your cultural background, from your religious, from your gender background, whatever that may be, that is different than the typical status quo. We are not only valuing having a diverse workforce or a perspective, but we are also making sure that you feel inclusive, you feel a part of the culture of the company, of how we work and how we create and get things done in the business. So that's the conversation that we're having. So you understand, leading a workforce is not just about the talent acquisition of diverse candidates. It's about making sure you have the right environment where diverse candidates actually want to stay and where their freedom of thought is able to be embraced by the corporation, by how you operate as a culture, and by changing and evolving as a people together as we build and grow a company. So today what we're doing is we're not only getting a chance to talk about some of the key programs that I think are very relevant in now or today's time frame, but also companies that are doing things differently in order to make sure that, yes, we not only are committed to diversity and inclusion, but we have programs that showcase what we're doing specifically in our companies, in the communities that we serve, and from schools or from professionals across the nation that might not otherwise have the same opportunities. And so today, one of our guest speakers, and I shouldn't say one, I should say we've got 3 guest speakers that are coming coming from Cordoba Corporation, which is a fantastic corporation out of Los Angeles. And what they do is they are in commercial construction. They are handling areas around transportation, around education and facilities, energy and water. So they are a large company that, or a mid-sized company that has these major projects, but of course, as they manage these projects, they're dealing with people from all walks of life in all different areas of our infrastructure across the nation. So I wanted to bring aboard a key portion of their team. And so excited to not only have each of you here, I'll introduce you just quickly so you can say hello, and then I would love to turn it over to George Pla, which is the CEO and president of Cordoba Corporation. So good morning, George.
Good morning. Good morning, Toni. Happy to be here.
Great. I'm glad to have you. And we also have Aundria Armstrong, who is one of their construction managers. Good morning, Aundria.
Good morning. Also, just thrilled to be here.
Good. It's a pleasure to have you. And Stephan Tucker, over 30 years of experience doing program management, and so excited to have you aboard as well, Stephan.
Thank you, Toni. Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. Well, I am actually going to turn it over to you, George. I really would love to hear, maybe you can give us the high-level broad strokes in regards to Cordoba's commitment to diversity and inclusion, but also some of the broader philanthropic and the things that you have done to create the culture that is not only diverse and inclusive, but you actually seem to do that even with the projects, the clients, and the work you do in the community. So maybe you could speak a little bit as we open up today and talk about what that means to you as the president and the CEO of the corporation.
Well, Toni, let me tell you that I'm very blessed to do what I get to do. I am the founder of Cordoba over 30 years ago. A lot of people think I'm an engineer. I'm not. I'm a sociology major and a master's in public policy. What that means then is that we created an organization that would make a difference where we live and work. We said it from day one. We have very strong technical teams of engineers, architects, construction managers, program managers, et cetera, et cetera. But we have a very different kind of DNA. We're products of California, products of Southern California. And as you well know, we're very diverse, both in gender and ethnicity. And inclusion and diversity was always the hallmark of Cordoba, going back more than 30 years. Today, everyone's talking about ethnicity, they're talking about inclusion, they're talking about social justice. Mm-hmm. We have been practicing that from day one, not only because it's the right thing to do, not only because it's our background, but it's also good business. Okay. And I think it speaks to why we have been successful. We have grown dramatically during the pandemic. We grew even more because we were ready technically, and we were ready within our staff and the culture that we maintain. So we're thrilled about where we are, but with respect to a program that I would like to talk about today, everyone talked about George Floyd, they talked about Breonna Taylor, they did op-ed pieces about how absurd this is and how we have to do something, but I really didn't hear anyone talking about specific actions that they would take to address these issues. And we at Cordoba decided that what people need is a job. They need a job, they need benefits, they need a break, they need an opportunity. And we've created a program called Pathway to Success that addresses that issue, something that we created internally, something that we pay for ourselves. And as our co-chairs, Aundria and Stephan, describe it to you, you're going to see what a great program it is, but it's also good business. And we can't wait to tell you all about it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing your comments, especially so that people can hear that this has just been a part of how you've been doing business since the very beginning. And Amy Cole, if you could actually unmute yourself as you come aboard, thanks for coming in, and just show us your video as well.
Hello all from New York City. I am a staffing expert and executive recruiter, and I greatly feel honored to be a part. And I do love what you are sharing, George. It's wonderful that it's foundational, sincerely. Fantastic.
Okay. Thank you for coming aboard. I definitely appreciate it. This is one of my partners in crime, and I'm always having a couple of different key perspectives aboard just so that you can hear, or our audience can also hear, hey, this is not only what companies like yourselves are doing at Cordoba, but also here's what's going on in the industry, as well as here, you know, from the East Coast, you're talking about people in different industries, what a staffing expert is also seeing, what's happening and how things are different as a result of the pandemic, as a result of some of the challenges that we're having in building a diverse organization, or, you know, getting people to get jobs, which is really the bottom line. Because whether we're talking about a pandemic or we're just talking about the fact that people right now are struggling and hurting, it is so powerful to hear, George, that you said the bottom line is we want to not only just put together a program where we're educating people, that's great, but at the end of the day, people need a job, they need benefits, they need to be employed. And so one of the areas that I want to make sure that we do is talk about a little bit of the staffing, because in addition to this program, because it's so powerful. But before I actually jump into Aundria and Stephan, I do want to talk about a couple of key best practices from a pandemic expert standpoint. I think, as well as just looking at how we work and how we do things differently. Why is it so important? Why is it so important that we have different perspectives from different people of different backgrounds? I was looking at SMARP and looking at SMARP, S-M-A-R-P, and what they have, and they are a workplace organization, industry, analysts, reports, obviously statistics and great data, but they focus on best practices for our future. And they talk about some of the benefits of diversity and inclusion that you don't necessarily always hear of or perhaps think of, but the innovation and creativity that George just spoke of. In fact, in 2017, they talked about the fact that they did a financial performance research in regards to the top quarter for gender diverse experiences, or gender diverse experienced companies. Those companies that have more of a gender diversity actually outperform their counterparts by 21%, folks. 21%. You know, reputation, how you make decisions when you have a more diverse or a different culture in the hierarchy. It makes you more agile. That agile organizational structure or culture, meaning they're more fluid and able to make better decisions faster, getting things done more effectively. And diversity is one of those crucial factors in being able to make better business decisions, make more creative business decisions that impact the bottom line, in addition to talent attraction. So Deloitte actually even did a study, and they said 67% of the job seekers actually use diversity as an important factor when considering companies that they even want to go to. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but when we talk about the Pathways to Success program, one of the things I thought that was very, important to me was to see that not only were you in the place of, when we talk about diversity and inclusion, looking at the right type of people that you want to create an opportunity for, you not only went out and worked with the community, worked with different organizations to bring in the right people, but you also made sure you set up a program to ensure that they are inducted into this program and opening their minds up to what kind of careers and what things are possible. So maybe between Aundria, you or Stephan, whoever prefers, perhaps you could just tell me, again, just start off with really quick here, what is the Pathways to Success program and how does it work?
I'll take that one to start, Toni. The Pathway to Success program is a program that primarily is focused on employing youth or young people from disadvantaged areas. One of the things that George really impressed upon us is that we wanted to hire not from the cream of the crop, and not those people who were, not really employable, but we wanted to look for those people that really just needed to get their shot, if you will, and bring their talent to the corporation so that we can help them create opportunities for themselves in the long run. So we went out, myself and Aundria, and worked with some community organizations like the Rites of Passage through the Faithful Central Bible Church and Starburst Youth Academy, and some other organizations to find those individuals that needed a chance, needed some help in getting into the workforce and creating opportunities for themselves. So we found those people and we brought them into a program that was designed specifically to help them to succeed. And the program is probably made up into 4 different phases, if you will. The first phase is we wanted them to be able to hit the ground running as soon as we release them into the workforce. So the first 2 months of the program is a very intense training in the entire Microsoft suite of products. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, they become not only beginners, but very proficient in all of those software applications. So at the very least, they could help somebody create a presentation or write a memo or do a spreadsheet is from day one when they get into the workforce. Second part of the program was what we call work school training portion, where they go into the workforce and they work for, up to 40 hours a week, but a minimum of 20 hours a week, learning a craft within Cordoba or a partnering organization, and also have the opportunity to go to school and hone that craft and learn some skills that will help them in that craft down the road. And that's a 9-month portion of the program. The third part of the program is a on-the-job training, where they take those skills that they've learned about, those skills that they've been trying to hone in the previous segment of the program, and actually work under direct supervision of someone that is mentoring them and helping them to create a skill set that's going to be useful for them in the long run. And then finally, the fourth part of the program is a graduation. And that graduation from the program is not only just a certificate of participation, but it's a full-time job offer with benefits.
As long as they graduated now, they have to graduate.
Yes, they have to graduate.
They have to graduate, yes.
And then they get that full-time job offer. Now, integrated within the program as well is a couple of different elements. There's, facility tours and the like. There's lunch and learn sessions for the participants, where they talk about various aspects that are going on the job to help them do better. And then there's a speaker series where we bring folks in and speaking to them from a success standpoint.
That's fantastic. So I think that, first of all, my hats are off to the two of you as well as the rest of the Cordoba leadership team, because it takes leadership to be able to say, this is really what we want to do and be committed to that. And then it takes, experts like you, Stephan, and Aundria to be able to put together something that really can be implemented and you can see the fruits of the results that you're creating. I understand that you started, or the team started this particular program in August and already have inductees in the 4-part program, which I think is fantastic. One of the things that, in fact, Amy Cole and I have talked about is when you develop programs like these and people think about bringing people in, whether it's the people in different spaces in their career, or they're really looking at recruiting and bringing in the right kind of talent because it's a professional job of expertise. And you know how they'll give it's hard to find people that are qualified, all those kinds of things. I think, the balancing of getting those unconscious biases out of people's minds and recognizing there really are people across all areas of expertise that do have the qualifications. But I like one of the things that you said up front, which is we actually chose to give people a chance that would not necessarily have had that chance or exposure to this type of opportunity. Doesn't mean they don't have the ability to build those skills and to be able to look at doing something like this. It just means that they just needed a chance, that one opportunity, and you're giving it to them. I thought it was also interesting to hear you say, and then Aundria, I'm gonna popcorn you in here, but I thought it was interesting to hear you say that, or maybe you didn't say it, and this is my mind working as a person that develops organizations, but when you talked about the 4 phases, bringing them in, giving them skill sets that they can hit the ground running, and then they get a chance to be a part of the culture. I mean, I think that's so powerful, because the one thing I did hear that has come out of what you're doing with this program is these minds that have not really had the exposure to the construction industry saying, here's what's possible. And I see all these different people from the lunch and learns, from the speakers, from what I've been able to learn. And I want to look at this career, or I want to look at that career opportunity, or I could be a George. I see how I could potentially do something to start my own business in the future. But if I could just get these tools and this skill set. Maybe, Aundria, as you chime in, can you talk to the participants and they're opening the aha moment, the light bulb that's gone off when they recognize there's a career path, there is an opportunity in multiple facets, because Cordoba covers 4 different complete industries that, blow your mind. You can go into completely different career paths, and the Pathways to Success program is not just a college internship opportunity. There are professionals, people that are beyond college age and the like, doing this program that are getting exposure to a career opportunity and beyond. So can you talk about how this program, Aundria, participants see opportunities, that career path, and what's specifically happening that you're seeing in the actual, in the group that you brought aboard?
Absolutely. The possibilities has just been so encouraging for them. They've been so excited. You see, we've had each sector come in and speak to the group. And so they got to learn about a little bit more about what the background is and what the management is. And they just absolutely lit up. They understood the different sectors, what those individuals brought. And it's so funny because when you talk about water, it was Stephan came in and just flowed through with them. You talked about energy, and Lisa and Lucy came in and she had so much energy, and they correlated that. They were like, the energy girl came in with energy. The transformation guy, he kept his slides moving. It was wonderful to see. And the training that we took the time to do at the beginning of the course has proven beneficial. They have already taken off. We've heard back from Cheryl, one of the individuals. She took on a couple of our team members from Pathway to Success as interns to help her to navigate some of the software challenges we're having within the company. Mm-hmm. And she said they hit the ground running. It's been absolutely wonderful. How long can I have them? And just to see that and them looking forward to come and do the internship with them, truly exciting. And then taking that, what they've already learned, looking into now, okay, what classes do I need to take? We have a girl in safety. She's ready to go get her OSHA certifications. So everyone is taking on the ones that went into management or on the job site. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my cert in, construction management. So it's been absolutely wonderful to see that they took an opportunity and decided to make it work for them. And watching their growth from day one to where they are now, we just had lunch with the group and George, and he could just see how excited they were about their intern possibilities and taking on the challenge of now going to school with direction. Some of them had a bachelor's degree in business, but not truly having a direction. And we gave them that. We gave them that through this opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of us with degrees, right? If you had just had a coach to tell you, I would be doing corporate law right now if I had just had a coach. I went to a law firm and I hated it. But if I had actually had a coach to say, well, you know what? I knew there were 26 areas of law, but it doesn't mean you know how that plays out on the job. And so when they get a chance to, and how often do you get a chance to meet the CEO, or you get a chance to meet the C-level people within the organization that really do inspire you? Because in their mindset, I mean, at the end of the day, we all put our pants on, one leg at a time. But the truth be told, when you're at an impressionable age, the impact is so significant because it inspires them to want to do different things. But I won't even just say age, because I understand, Aundria, and keep me honest here, that you have different age ranges. Even there's a mom that is like, come back out of momhood. I mean, I'm an empty nester. I've been doing this for a long time anyway, but my son's out at Arizona State, hanging and doing his thing. So glad and peaceful. My bathrooms, my kitchen, I don't have to do all Okay. But I hear you have not a person, a lady that is now getting back to work inside the program. And this is what makes it so exciting. So tell us about the type of people and what's happening in their world.
Oh my goodness, if I could. I mean,
well, what you can share.
Yes. Starting with Tahira Ruffin, absolutely has been out of the workforce, working at home, handling her business, and just needed something. She talked to me personally about just needing an opportunity, and that she didn't have some of those computer skills that she really needed to kind of set off, and called her with this opportunity. And she said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. It came before me. This is an opportunity for me to set off. And it's funny because people think that they're coming with an empty basket. And George met her for the first time. This woman is an awesome speaker. She can set the stage. She just has a aura about her, and she just set that thing on fire. She might not have some of those computer skills, but each and every one of them came with something that just set them apart. We have a young lady, Gabriella. She came in, she was helping to teach the class. She knew so much about the soft skills already, but she wasn't not necessarily a great speaker like Tahira. So they help each other. And just to watch the team, there was a young man struggling to get there. Another team member picked him up so that he can get to the class. They continue
That's your leadership style. That's you. That's what I think is so powerful. I want you to think about this. The leadership style and what happens at Cordoba, really setting the stage for how we work together. That's what so folks that are listening, that's what you see, the dynamic of both of them coming to light. Here's the program from Stephan saying, this is how we've done this is how we've orchestrated and executed. But the Aundria, the flavor of the impact it's happening on people and who they're meeting, how they're connecting, and how they're actually helping each other. That is what we talk about and what we mean by inclusive. Because all of a sudden, so-and-so is not judging them because they need to be picked up. It's, we are all here working together. If I have this skill set, let's make sure that we have the dynamic where we're helping each other. And there's where the creativity and the innovation is sparked. And one of the things that I think is powerful with that is the talent acquisition side of the house. And then I will jump back to Stephan in regards to the program. So I appreciate your comments, Aundria, because the truth of the matter is each person comes with a different set of skill set, different personality style, different way they adapt to things, and different wants and needs. And when you can provide that and allow that to blossom just by the exposure of the way the program is set up, just by the exposure of being able to, how often do you get to meet with the president and CEO or C-level or director and above, and being able to talk and connect with people across the entire organization in different areas of the industry makes a huge difference. But also I think how you bring people in makes a difference. But I'm going to actually ping pong it over here to Amy Cole, because one of the things that I know as far as diversity is also for companies that aren't diverse, that haven't had that opportunity. The acquisition of the right kind of people can make a difference. So as a staffing expert, how do you set yourself apart, and what are you seeing that you do different to help them provide that inclusive interview, that connection, so that they can bring diverse candidates aboard in a competitive way?
Well, I'm going to have them call Cordoba. I'm serious. This is so, no, it's so heartwarming. I mean, I am a staffing expert and an executive recruiter, really based in service. I absolutely adore the candidate piece, and I adore the career empowerment piece. And so when I get to partner with a company like yours, honestly, I kiss you and I'll send you flowers, because you are opening the door. And yes, what makes me different is not just finding diverse candidates. You know, Toni and I speak of this often. I can find that diverse candidate for you, but I need to help you understand as leadership how you have unconscious bias in your interviewing process. how you don't ask consistent questions to each candidate. As tiny as that sounds, oh no, we ask everybody the same thing. No, we need to truly ask A, B, C, and D, have a rating system, apply that to each candidate. You know, they say in recruiting, there's a halo effect. Some people that show up and they came from your hometown or they look like you, all of a sudden they're smart and they're perfect for the job. Or you've got the horn effect where they just walked in and their fashion isn't on point. You know, I work with large corporations, Michael Kors, Calvin Klein, L'Oreal. What's going to happen there is all of a sudden he's not the guy, he doesn't have the smarts because of maybe his appearance or his outfit. And we are discounting and decreasing our diversity from the beginning of the interview process. So I feel that one of the things that I get excited about is to hear a Cordoba, wow, is really amen, amen. And that's one of my biggest hurdles is sitting down, and I'm sitting down with L'Oreal on Thursday actually, about how are they all know they need to fill this diversity quotient, correct? Okay, unfortunately it's a ratio now federally, right? And it's a big buzz. And it's so important and impactful. But are we starting it in the right place? And that is how we are addressing our candidate pool. So I've got to teach leaders and managers how they can uncover that bias that they don't even realize they have. It's really not their fault. There is an unconscious bias that lives in management. So I really feel that, you know, and I also don't like that when they just give me that old dog whistle, she's just not our fit. When I know that girl or guy has the credentials and the soft skills and all of the leadership potential to really do that job. That old, she's just not the right fit is, it didn't feel right to that human being. So I love your process, you know, and I think that's really important. And I want to just add one thing that you are adding to your bottom line, in addition to such enthusiasm from Andrea, I love it. But your retention rate, guys, you are saving thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars because you've brought people into your system, you've trained them, you've embraced them, you're keeping with them, and that loyalty is saving your bottom line. And Toni brought up a statistic. I have similar statistics in the revenue generating stream that you have by creating that diverse, inclusive environment is to your bottom line a big fat check in addition to the big fat heart. So good. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Big fat check with a
Well, I mean, we're running businesses.
big fat heart.
Recruiter. You know, George, you're running a business.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And I actually want to talk about that more.
Well, take the stage, George. You go ahead and
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit more. That big fat heart and the big fat check.
I think that I love that, Amy. You know, let's talk about good business. We at Cordoba have 15 different languages spoken here. 36% of the workforce are women at all levels, before you ask me.
You knew it was coming.
Of nearly 500 employees. Diversity and inclusion means everyone. And then we have the pandemic. So what happened this year in the 2020? Everybody asked you that question. And we already had invested a lot of money in technology. We already had alternate schedules, work schedules for everyone. When the pandemic hit, we were ready to go. And we have had the best year ever in 2020 because of the diversity, because of inclusion, because of technology, because of the secret sauce of make a difference where you live and work. Now, I'm very, very proud of what Aundria and Stephan have put together on Pathway to Success. But it's also good business when these folks are trained and absorbed into our very own workforce. They will make us money. They will make money. They have a good job with benefits, and they will make the company money. And guess what? All told, we will make a difference where we live and where we work. And it's just, you know, I shy from those that think this is a nice social program and a nice thing to do. No, it is that and more. And I really like, Amy, your comment about a big heart and a big paycheck, because that's exactly what happens. They're not incompatible, as we know. And that explains the 30% growth in Cordoba over the last 20 years, without a doubt. And the competition really has no chance when we have this kind of approach, philosophy, culture. that we live and breathe every single day.
Appreciate those comments, not only because to me, and I'm glad you answered the question of where the women are and where your diversity is, because you know that was my next question. Okay, it's great to have them, but where are they? But I like the idea of that, you know, although it wasn't said, to me what it spoke to is you recognizing diversity at all levels with all cultures and backgrounds being a business imperative. And that's that's what makes the difference in you being able to generate revenue. But one thing I think is special about Cordoba that's not necessarily mentioned here that I know just from my research and my experience is the not only commitment to diversity, but also the diverse projects they go after, the clientele that they hold, as well as their philanthropic initiatives and their willingness to serve communities. So when you talk about having a heart and that impacting the bottom line, part of me, I know we're in business to make money and you're in business to make money, and it's fantastic hearing that growth. But I also see for me the heart of Cordoba that is not just about, it's just all about our bottom line. It's about generating revenue. It feels like when I connect, it feels to me like it has always been community and people first, because the rest will always come if you serve the community. So with a servant's heart for me, I feel like when I connect with people at Cordoba, you are all about serving your people, your community, and yes, the clientele or projects that you deliver. And so I just want to thank you for that, because even as a person on the outside looking in and connecting, I feel that. And for a staffing recruiter or an executive recruiter like an Amy, it makes you feel good about the competitive talent that would want to actually go to Cordoba, because they know the environment is going to be such that it's about the people and about what you do to build them up, which ultimately builds up the business. So maybe, Stephan, I could bounce it back to you if you're open to that. What do you think in regards to the response that your clients have? That, you know, I understand maybe you're not in the phase right now where your people are going right to the job, or maybe they are, correct me if I'm, you know, or keep me honest here, but what do your clients think about the Pathways to Success program and perhaps the partnership or willingness to have some of the on-the-job experience or training at a client's site? Is that possible? And I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but whether it's on the job at Cordoba, projects that you have, or whether it's at a client site, what do your clients think about what you're doing, and are they partnering with you as well?
Yeah, that's one of the major goals of the program, is to not only have these participants be employees of Cordoba, but also have them be participants of the with some of our partner organizations. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm working in a specific contract with a major utility here in Los Angeles, and that contract is going to be probably up for renewal in the next couple of months. One of the things I'm going to add is a line item for an assistant for me as I'm doing that contract. And that assistant is going to be one of the Pathway to Success participants.
So you think you're a busy guy, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I already talked to the client about that, and I've talked to them about the program, and they absolutely love the program. And they told me, absolutely, you know, bring them on board, let them get as much experience as they possibly can get, and let us know how we can increase the exposure of that participant. So yeah, we're looking to partner with our client organizations to get them in as opportunities arise. That's definitely one of the aims of the program.
Well, that is so exciting. Go ahead.
I wanted to go back to is for the talent acquisition, and George made it very plain to us when we started this program. These are not people that have outstanding resumes that we brought. We were looking for potential and desire, right? So you look at the resumes of the people that we brought into the program. Like I said, it was not the cream of the crop, but we made the commitment to train these people, give them the experience so they can build their resumes.
Yes.
And I think that's what's really different about this program. Talk about the heart of an organization. We made the commitment to bring them in and give them that experience to build their resumes, to make them more marketable, not only at Cordoba, but to our clients and in the marketplace as well.
That's fantastic. I'm just curious, and I just would like to know, what was it that you made that decision, George? Why did you make that decision to actually look at people that, may have been the underdog, the person that didn't necessarily? What made you basically craft the vision of this program in that way?
When people always ask you, where are you from? Where are you from? And I was thinking about where I'm from. And, I grew up here in Southern California in an era where manufacturing created middle-class jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And as I thought about what we call the new economy and the skills required for people to get jobs today, it occurred to me that we have people here in this area, very diverse geographically, ethnically, gender, that need to be trained, retrained in a whole new era of jobs. And but what really sticks with me over and over again, and I may repeat myself, is they need a job and they need benefits. And that can address a lot of the issues that we have in our society. And that really was the thinking behind it. And thank you to Aundria and Stephan. They created the program, I didn't. And they targeted the individuals that need a break. But fundamentally, as a sociologist, if you will, people need a job. And we need to provide that opportunity. But it's a job now, as Amy knows, in a new economy with new skills required, new kinds of jobs that are created, not necessarily manufacturing anymore. And, but to your question about, are people excited, clients and others, to absorb our candidates? Our project managers internally are very excited to absorb them into their teams, because they're going to be homegrown. They're going to be trained by us, and for our projects, and therefore they're going to be incredibly successful. I know that they are. And by the way, once they graduate, and it doesn't have to take 9, 12, or 18 months, some will move faster than others, right? As soon as they do move on, we're going to backfill that. And we're going to keep that program going over and over and over.
And that was going to be one of my next questions was, is this a program you're going to be doing and that it's going to continue? Because I like the fact that, yes, gender, and you'll hear a lot of times in the diverse space, people talking about gender, and it's just bringing women in, and that's okay. But I do want to actually throw out the stats as well, that they really talk about the ethnic and cultural diversity, because we are a global marketplace. We do need to bring people in from different backgrounds and different cultures. And I love the concept of your folks being homegrown, because then they really get a chance to understand, the variety and what Cordoba has to offer. But I do also want to make sure that we, basically put a fine tune on the fact that cultural diversity also makes a difference, because they talk about it being 33% of higher performance in regards to the organization as a result of having a diverse and a culturally specific diverse organization. And I do know that you are very, focused on those stats. And as a group, or as a organization, Stephan and Aundria, the program you've created, really focuses on gender, but also cultural diversity as well. So maybe, as we get ready to close out the hour, I'd love to hear just your thoughts in regards to the power of the program and how it's shifted your leadership team. How has it changed how you lead, knowing that you're doing some different things that are not going to impact just the actual people you're bringing in, but people are watching you and what you do and how this program is implemented and what the success is going to be of this program, to see, is this something that we can adopt as a best practice across the board for multiple organizations? What are your thoughts around that? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Go, Andrew, go.
Just because, it's the opportunity to make a difference. Like you said, just making a difference. And for me, just absolutely honored, first of all, to be chosen to be co-partner with Stephan, who's amazing. And for us to work this out together, to bring on this group, wanted me as a leader to them to be better. Whatever I could do to be better, as I can walk in as an example to them, show any part of my story, my journey, whatever I can do to empower them, I think just innately made me want to be better and to walk into that leadership role. And then I'm in the education sector, just to speak to the buzz across our sector regarding this has just been absolutely amazing. Everyone wants a piece of it. What can I do? I could just be in the background to help out. I could, what can I come in to speak? And so that too also encourages, and watching them respond to us has just, you could just see there's a complete different direction, movement, motivation to get up. To hear, like you said, one of the older ones, just had trouble even getting up and being motivated in the morning. The guys have been there. The guys, we were trying to bet to see who would show up first, and we thought the 3 women would.
Yeah.
No, the young men, all the young men showed up before the women did on the first day of class, and typically they're the first ones in class, and just blew me away. You just never know. So that's my little take. Absolutely been amazing for me personally. Again, a chance to make a difference in my community and with the company, and it's just been completely awesome.
And I honestly, I have to say, and it sounds like with each other too, because I will tell you, they didn't know. I mean, I was like doing a few things before us, doing the show, and all you heard was Stephan and Aundria, and they were talking about, okay, and you're going to say this, and you should have seen the collaboration. I was like, I already love these people. Can I? And I'm like, this is going to be a great show just to hear them interact with each other. So tell us your perspective, Stephan, and then we'll go to George to close it out. What are your thoughts in regards to this creation of you and Aundria working together, your leadership together, your collaboration, and just the energy and the synergy between the two of you, and this being one of those programs? It was said earlier, I can't recall who, but you said when the client, saw that this was a program, how can we be involved? How can we continue to help them? The kids get this experience. Sometimes that's the issue too. They don't have the expertise to create a program as what you, Aundria, and Stephan have done to bring people in. They'll help do and open up the world if they just have someone that will set it up for them, or that blueprint that they can leverage. So what are your thoughts in regards to how this is going to impact the industry as well as the clients and beyond?
I think it's ultimately going to have a tremendous impact on the industry. And I got to say, every time I hear Aundria talk about the participants and the students, I kind of get emotional because I know what this means to them. I know how life-changing this is for some of them. And, I've been in executive management for quite a while. And, we don't always want to show emotion, but when I think about these students and I think about the participants in this program and the success that they have against before them, I just get so excited about it. Because when I look at jobs now and I try to staff my jobs, I always have them in mind. I'm always looking for, how can we get one of the pathways participants on this job, or how can we use this person as a project coordinator, or how can we use this person in the safety arena, or how can we use this person as a computer-aided design operator. So I'm always looking out for them now because of just that compassion for them and for their success is just tremendous. And I think as we deploy them into the industry, and as George said, they're going to be homegrown, the kind of dedication that they have for Cordoba and wanting to do a good job for Cordoba is going to be tremendous because they're going to have that kind of sense of loyalty to a company that did so much for them. And I'm looking forward to the impact that they have on our projects and on our clients down the road.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. And I'm thrilled. And Amy, I'm going to spotlight you, but I'm thrilled to hear your own personal commitment, because I think that there's something to be said as a leader, right? You personally looking out, but also the organization and what's happening. It is sparking something that maybe even all three of you, the entire leadership didn't expect, because it's sparking things from every different location, whether it's clients, people that you're working with, people within the organization, because it's so new, but it's so helpful, and you can see the impact is going to be that significant. I think that also speaks to us being in the midst of a pandemic. And then Amy, I'm going to bring you in here really quick before we let George close out. But I think it speaks to having people, and as I go into organizations, look at their actual talent differently, look at the skill sets that they really need to bring in, that they can come from all different places, and yes, can work virtual or can work in different ways. And this just gives you not only a way to look at, oh gosh, how do I place them? I'm thinking of, do they need to go in this department, that department, based upon their skill set. You seem, and both together, are thinking about how you plug this great talent in that you've cultivated. I think it gives you more of a commitment because they are homegrown, but also that's something that we can learn from, to say, this is what we need to be doing with our people on a regular basis. And not every leader or organization does that, because there are many times where, oh, let's just let someone go, when the truth of the matter is, sometimes those skills are transferable. Those of you that are listening, within your organization, you have great people that have the heart, that have put their heart and soul into being inside your organization. And sometimes it's just shifting where that skill set can be and bringing them to a different organization or a different place, so that you can continue to grow and give them exposure and commitment to the organization. And so what are you seeing, or your final comments before I turn it over to George for the last? Amy, your thoughts, because you see this all the time.
Well, I see it all the time, but in this pandemic specifically, and that's why I think some of your consulting and your leadership is so critical right now. The companies really need to open their hearts and allow a third party to come in and help. Right now, I am helping corporations figure out how to fill the gap between the talent they have and the talent they need, because we are in a different work-life paradigm.
Yes.
And it is exactly to Stephan's point. Can I maybe move? I have a guy that I work with that says he likes to move the deck chairs. Can I move the deck chairs in my organization so that we have a better place to sit? Meaning, this guy is great over here, but I now don't need that in this pandemic situation. We're not manufacturing that. We don't have the distribution channels to take that product. But I know if I use his skills over here, he may not even think that he'd be appropriate there, but I do. However, you do need leadership, much like Aundria and Stephan and George, to see the value of people. So this is why I mean it, guys. You've inspired Amy Cole as an executive recruiter and a staffing expert to think more about even my client base. I tell them all the time, but I really want to inspire them what they can be doing on a ground basis to homegrown, fabulous people, and put these. See, your program is fabulous, but a lot of companies don't feel they have the time or the money to spend on that. And I think that's short-sighted, to George's point, because as a staffing expert, I am in charge of making you guys profitable, building your teams for profitability, longevity, and retention. And then I'll let you jump. But yeah, thank you for having me. Again, I feel very inspired. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, always a pleasure. No, and I appreciate those comments, because it's so good to hear, what's going on in different industries, as well as the perspective of someone that actually does the brokering of bringing the right people in and making sure that you're helping that organization be profitable. But I'd like to close out or hear some of the final comments from you, George, in regards to, and I'm going to spotlight you right now, in regards to just your thoughts in leadership as you are connecting with other C-level executives from other corporations, basically paving the way as you have been doing all this time. What are they doing, or what are you hearing, or how are they looking at you as, that blueprint, that possibility of what they can do in their organization as well? What are the boardroom conversations that are being had? Give us the behind the door, the behind the curtain.
I will, but before that, I want to emphasize, we've been doing this a very long time, more than 30 years. This is not the flavor of the month that everyone's talking about in the year of the pandemic. We've been doing this. It's our DNA, it's our culture from day one, number one. Number two, Aundria and Stephan have created an incredible program. Very proud of it, but you know what? It's only one program within Cordoba. It's funny that you keep using the word blueprint, Toni. Mm-hmm. We have a program called Blueprint for Success, which is an internal program of existing employees that Aundria was a part of about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And you can see, you know, what's happened since then.
Okay.
Our internship
I love a good
program-
blueprint, I'll tell you.
our internship program, we have up to 20 interns every summer that we pay and that are invited back if they're undergrads, and we end up hiring most of them when they graduate. And then our philanthropy is strong throughout California as well. And all told, we call that drinking the Kool-Aid. Our employees drink the Kool-Aid, are invested in what we do, excuse me, and how we do that. Now, with respect to your question about the industry and my colleagues out there, I have told Stephan and Aundria, let's let this program, which is only 8-9 weeks old, mature a little bit. Then I'm personally going to challenge the industry to adopt a program like this in their own companies. It's not only the right thing to do, but a good investment, and will be good business. And so we're very proud of doing this. But again, we've been doing this a very long time. And the clients, the industry, they know that. And for that reason, I think selection panels say, we want Cordoba. They understand, they give back, they do good work, they're technically strong. We prefer Cordoba over the others who I call vanilla, if that's a proper term nowadays.
No, but I appreciate those comments, because it speaks to not only who you are and what you guys have been doing, but I love the comment, George, of this is not just the flavor of the month. This is not just okay, you know, this is what happened this summer, so now we have to hurry up and we actually have to do something about it that's going to go for a few moments and then fall flat on its face. This is something that's been a commitment and is a part of the DNA where I'm concerned in regards to the organization and your commitment. So I think that's powerful. And as we get ready to close out here, folks, I am so thrilled to have had each and every one of you on the show today. This has been a dynamic conversation of not only being able to talk about what happens and how we hire diverse candidates, but the programs and best practices that can be put into place. And you can see the fruit of the labor. You can see the fruit, whether it's from the innovation and creativity of creating new ideas from a corporation that does need to profit so they can keep hiring employees, giving them good benefits, but also being able to change how the industry will operate, how people will actually see themselves, no matter what background they are from, no matter what experiences they have. The excitement when Aundria lights up and says, this is what happened with this person when they connected with, you know, this career path, or Stephan saying, not only is this the structure, but I'm really wanting to make a commitment to where can I place these people? What can I do different? To Amy, thank you so much for coming in and showing us, hey, this is a different way for us to think in regards to even our leadership. It's not just about finding the right candidate, but about finding the unbiased, unconscious biases that we have and shifting our own leadership style. And of course, George, sealing the deal with, here's the foundation of how business truly should be done that helps you build and grow a business, grow your leadership, your teams, but also be a part of the community in a way that sets that tone for how we should be doing business and why you as a differentiator create that, you know, that thing that boils to the top that says, we want to consistently do business with you. And I think that that is something that we, from a national perspective, local, national, and now, of course, from a global perspective, being virtual, doing business across borders, across time zones, cultures, gender, doesn't matter what it is, we need to think different, we need to lead different, and we need to operate different, especially with this pandemic being here to stay, diversity being more so important, and connecting with people right where they are, and how do we continue to grow and build and just create that community that really thrives together. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being on the show today. This is Toni Navy. This is Small Business Leadership Edge. We are on Tuesdays. We premiere 6 p.m. every Tuesday evening, and having great, amazing guests like we did today, but each and every week, we're looking forward to connecting with you, seeing you, and delivering those small business strategies that you need from those big business solutions that our guests are able to deliver to you. So thanks everybody for joining, and we can't wait to see you next Tuesday. Make it a great day.